Hello to the chicos and the chicas. In today's video, I'm going to show you the most commonly committed mistake on amateur level chess, which is also a mindset problem. So join me on this ride because I guarantee you that you are going to take a very valuable lesson away from this video. Let's dive right into it, and I shall begin with a little story. I played this position about a week ago in a bullet game. I played knight g5, and shortly after the game ended, I took it to Twitter and I actually asked the chess community what they thought about the move knight g5 and how would they actually evaluate the position. And to my absolute horror, a huge majority of the answers came back to me with saying knight takes c3, bishop c2, check. So knight takes, pawn takes, bishop c2, discover, check, and it wins the queen. And that, ladies and gentlemen, in a nutshell, is precisely the greatest flaw of the thinking of the lower level, club level amateur chess player. To put it simply, it's extreme materialism combined with extreme tunnel vision towards materialism. So what is the problem here? There are two issues at play here. Number one is that the players who said that this was the correct way to go with take, they only consider the materialistic considerations when evaluating the position. That's one huge, enormous problem. The second one, which is probably even more interesting to observe, is that they didn't even bother, not at all, looking at what knight g5 actually did. Like, not as much as a cursory glance just to check that, hang on, what was that move about? Nah. As soon as they saw the opportunity to win a queen, they immediately jumped on it, and without checking, immediately typing up that, oh, I got you, mate, I get your queen. And that, once again, is the absolute epitome of what you should never, ever do in chess. So let's break this down very quickly. So knight g5 is a mate in one fret. So here actually the priorities are so misaligned that we actually managed to create a new priority that, believe it or not, that new priority defeats the purpose of the game, which is to checkmate your opponent king. That's what chess is about. When you start a game, your goal is to checkmate your opponent king. And their value system is so misaligned that they actually replaced it with something else, almost like defeating the purpose of the game. Because I dare to challenge all of those who would challenge my arguing here that they didn't see it. It's not that, they didn't even look. Because for someone to have the chess skill to calculate takes, check, and take, which is 3 moves, including a discover check, that definitely indicates the ability to see a half move mate in one fret. So it's purely mindset and mentality. My actual reasoning for posting this was not this at all. My reasoning for posting this was because I thought during the game that I was dead lost after takes, bishop d3, double check, and eliminating the bishop, which in turn means that now rook takes h7 is not checkmate because the king escapes on g8. However, the shocking response is that actually this is dead lost for black, because after queen c2, bishop f7, there is the not so surprising queen e4 and queen h4 followed by check here or here, and then mate on h7 is inevitable. But as I said, that was not what I got out of this tweet, but much more so that people are insanely materialistic. And if you belong to the bunch who tends to commit this mistake, it is vitally important that you try to turn that around as soon as possible. I'll show you an example that I use an awful lot, and in fact used to use a lot when I was teaching chess in school environment. This is a game, I think from 1910 or thereabouts. I will look it up afterwards, between Reti, often incorrectly pronounced as Reti, against Tartakower. A very famous game in the Caro-Kann, where Reti here uncooked the absolutely shocking queen d3, no less. Now this is a cheeky and mostly bad move. It brings the queen too early into the game, and it's really not justified. Actually, now it comes up on the left on leeches that you can't see. Oh my god, I got it right. It was played in 1910. Anyway, let's get to the point. So bishop f5 is going to be met by knight f6 and we win the bishop. Correct would have been here knight d7 or immediately take. Multiple good choices here. However, Tartakover played the equally peculiar e5 with the idea to check the pawn down and create a pin on the e file, hurting the knight on e4. Now, the first thing that I asked from my students, and both in class and private, was that what is the best way for us to deal with this pin? And 100 out of 100 immediately said f3. Which is fair enough, because seeing here that castles is actually best, for that to see that, it takes a very, very high level calculating skill. However, then I told them that it's actually castles. What do you think this is all about? Second answer, by the way, pause the video if you want to answer it yourself, was that, oh, it's easy. Queen e4 and we win the queen. Yay. Again, the materialism is kicking in, although here it is sound. However, after knight takes e4, I ask again, what do you think we will do? And they tell me, almost all of them, that now we go rook e1, bishop f5, f3, and we regain the piece. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is again such a typical and so fundamentally misaligned way of thinking. We sacrifice a piece. What was the purpose again? So that we can regain it. That never happens. That doesn't make sense. We hardly ever sacrifice a piece to regain it. Sacrifices usually serve two purposes: to give away material for a different type of advantage, whether it be attack, initiative, weakness, whatever. It's a different type of advantage, which in our hope will outweigh the importance of the sacrificed material, or we want to win even more material than what we sacrificed, but that's actually the less common version of, generally speaking, sacrifices. So then I gently highlight to them that, look guys, I really like the idea that you want to hurt the business on the e-file, but did you notice that two of our heavy pieces are actually on the d? And at this point, I almost always got a lot of answers along the lines of, oh, I got it. Bishop c3 attacks the queen, threatens mate, we win the queen. Again, going down materialism path. Of course, the wrong answer, because check allows black to easily defend the mate. And I also got the same blunder with bishop f4, which is even worse because queen f4. Now, at this point, a lot of the times, I usually give away the hint of, if you were actually to follow the golden rule of tactical positions, because it feels like there is tactic in the air. Because if we remove the bishop from d2, then we are going to be able to mate. And so if we are thinking, as we should, in tactical terms, we would be like checks, captures, threats. So what is our first most appealing check? Of course, queen d8. Oh, but that loses the queen. No one cares. This game is not won by capturing your opponent's queen or their pieces. This game is won by checkmate. So this is not where you stop calculating. This is where you begin calculation. Now, the last and most common trap that I always set to my students here is the, what do you think this does? And again, 90% of the time, the answer I get is that, oh, we can regain the queen. And this obsession with the material, with the queen, just never seems to end. And of course, again, it makes absolutely zero sense, because even if I don't play queen d5, which is best, because then I get an even rook, even if I just play, let's say, knight d7, after bishop takes e5, we regain the queen, except we also lost the knight, so we are a piece down now and dead lost. Now, let's switch this mentality around, and instead of trying to hunt material, let's play this game for what it's meant to be played for, checkmate. What does that look like? Oh, discovered checks everywhere. Well, two of them are actually double checks. Let's try it, shall we? Check from two different directions. King e8, mate. That's what you sacrifice a queen for. Even prettier, king c7, bishop d8, an absolutely stunning checkmate. And lo and behold, we played a fantastic chess game, a marvelous mate in the end, and we really created an overall masterpiece. And all we needed to do was just to let go of this ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous attachment to material. Forget it. Chess is not about material. Obviously, on very low levels, blundering pieces away is decisive. But you must understand that the nature of chess is that you are not meant to pick the material, especially when there is a king there for the picking. Now, I'm going to show you one last example that I was quite proud of. And this is another bullet game, by the way. But again, observe the mentality. I'm black. I took d5, queen e1. I played rook g5. What is the purpose of rook g5? Obviously, we are trying to play bishop h3 and hurt g2. Opponent plays knight d4, so I go bishop h3. And now, as you would probably say and think, oh yeah, we are winning an exchange after g3 bishop takes. Yeah, we are. Except, why would I take that? My idea is not to win an exchange. My idea was to severely weaken this king. Now, on top of that, this rook can't move away. So why would I bother taking it? My bishop on h3 represents far greater value than the rook. So what did I do instead? h5. And at this point, I was playing this on stream, I was saying to chat that I really hope that this guy is going to play queen d1, rook e1, trying to save the rook, because then he's going to get mated. Sure enough, queen d1, h4, rook e1. That's exactly how the game played out. I took g3, they took back, and instead of taking their rook, I sacrificed my own. And ta-da, this is how the game ended in a checkmate. That was 5 moves away from the position of, I don't know, yeah, 5 exactly, from the position where I could have taken a free rook. How many moves would that have taken for me to win from here? At least 20. At least 20, because now my attack is over, the king is very safely protected, and there is no apparent way to continue the attack. So once again, before you go and cash in, think about, what are you really playing for? Are you playing for what this game is meant to be played for, which is checkmate? Or are you trying to pick as many cherries as you possibly can and fill your belly and then hope for the best? I hope that you found this video very instructive, because I hope that it really was one. Remember, the goal of the game is checkmate, not to eat your opponent's pieces. So, when you have a choice between taking material or going for a crazy attack, almost always attack is the way. Thank you very much for watching this video. I will be back with more soon. Please don't forget to sub, to like, to super like, and to subscribe. And also note that I do stream nowadays a fair bit, so if you would like to catch me there, I'm going to post a link in the description. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next. Bye.